Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to explain what is prototype chain, double underscore proto, bracket, double bracket proto, and how we can achieve inheritance in JavaScript. So these are the most frequently asked questions in JavaScript interviews, and every developer should have a basic knowledge of it. So let's understand it, how it works. So I have created one empty object, one empty array, and one functions. So I am going to show you how actually prototype works. So what is prototype? Prototype exists on all objects, and it's a hidden property through which we can inherit the properties and method of one object into another object. So inheritance can be achieved by using prototype, and there is one more way of inheriting the properties and methods of object by existing object, that is we can use with the create method. So I have created one empty object. So if I expand it, what will you able to see? Double underscore prototype. So it is a hidden property which exists on every object called as double square prototype, and we cannot directly access this with the double bracket proto. We cannot, so you will get the error. So to check what exists on whatever to access all the methods and property, we have to use the underscore proto. So it is accessor property present on every object through which we can access or get or set the properties and methods. So if you see, these are the inbuilt methods. So now we have object dot prototype. So let's check what it is. So it is same as a object. So we are creating instance of the object, and both are same. So newly created object prototype is pointing to the object dot prototype. So where this object prototype is pointing to? So let's check. What do you think? It's pointing to null. So if you see, we have created one object, its prototype is pointing to object dot prototype, and object dot prototype's prototype is pointing to null, and this is called as prototype chain. So let's check about the array. So I am going to print the random array I have created. This is empty. Now I expand it. It have a hidden property, that is double bracket prototype. So let's check dunder proto of the array. So where it's pointing? So every array have some built-in functionality, and it's point to there. So add, concatenate, there are so many methods on the array that is accessible by this proto. So now what happens if we check the prototype of array? So this is same as the newly created array. So it's pointing to array dot prototype. So if we check, it's the same, it's a true. So now where this array dot prototype is pointing to, let's check it out. It should point to object dot prototype. So if I check the object dot prototype, it's the same. So I compare both. If I compare both, it's the same, object dot prototype, it's the same. So now check the one we are creating. So if I check underscore prototype, it's pointing to array dot prototype. So if I check this prototype, so it's pointing to object dot prototype. And now if I again check with the dot, it should point to where, guess where it's pointing to? It's pointing to null. So this is the prototype chain. So same with the function. So let's check out the function. Now if I do proto underscore, where it's pointing to? It's pointing to function prototype. Function prototype. It's now where function prototype is pointing to? It's pointing to object dot prototype. So object. Now you know already where object dot prototype is pointing to. It's pointing to null. So this is the prototype chain. So I have covered what is prototype, what is standard proto, that means double underscore proto and double bracket proto, and I have covered as well prototype chain. So understand how we can inherit the properties and methods from objects. So I have already one created example. Let me paste it here. So I have created constructor function animal where I am assigning a name, and now I have created one method with the help of prototype. Now I have created instance of animal and I have given name Simba. So if I try to access the methods from animal, the instance I have created, what do you think it will give you? So let me console it. X console log. It will show you Simba makes a sound. So this is the output of it. So again, Simba makes a sound. So instead of doing, instead of printing it, let's print it again. Save. Open. What I'm trying to, oh my god. Yeah. Save, refresh. Simba makes a sound. So now if I do animal dot name equal to random name animal. Okay, now let's print it console. Instead of printing it, let's directly check into Chrome. Animal. If you see, we can override here with the name. So if I check, if I create one more instance of animal here, constant 1, Simba makes a sound. So now I am going to print console.log animal1 console.log animal. So it says Simba, and so all the properties we are inheriting from constructor function with the help of prototype, and this is called as prototype inheritance. Now let's try with the, so I'm creating, let's try with the create method. So what is create method? Create method is method on every object which is used to inherit the property of one object from the existing object. So I have random object here. So I'm going to use constant details object equal to create object dot create, which takes the prototype object of existing object and the optional properties. So I am going to take object and let me print the console.log. It's an empty object because the object having the empty. Now let's try adding name equal to John. Refresh it. So what happens if we extend, let me refresh it, we have age property which are, but if we try to expand the prototype, you can see the name property. So it's a hidden property. So object here takes the prototype object of existing and the optional properties where you can add those newly created properties on the details object. So if I try to do age 20, yeah, so this way we are able to inherit the properties of object into the detail object using the object create method. So if you like the video, please like, share and subscribe, and let me know in the comment if you want to have more deep knowledge on the prototype chain or the object create method. Thank you so much.